Hey everyone, Nicole here, Side Hustle Diva. So today's video, I want to talk about some new things that I've experienced out on my journeys, doing my side hustle. Well, it's not really my side hustle, it's my main hustle, but my other side hustles along with it. So I want to talk about new changes that I've experienced with my Uber driver app this week and some new things going on with Shipt. So let's first get into Uber Eats. So I managed to finish a little bit early on one day where I have my deliveries that I have to do for a set restaurant that I do every day, Monday through Friday. They are lunch deliveries, they're corporate deliveries. So I had time within the day to turn on the Uber app, the Uber Eats app for lunch deliveries. So I was able to grab some orders around lunchtime because usually I'm finished by 1 o'clock, and it kind of cuts into that whole like 11 to 1 lunch rush. So anyway, I was able to snag some orders in this particular day. So I ended up getting like one order, and I delivered it, and then I got my next round of orders that hit my app. So I get an order for this restaurant. It's like a burger joint up the street from my house. And no, correction. I get an order for this pizza place down in downtown Stamford. So it's a pizza place. I get there, and then I get another delivery request on top of it while I'm still on my way to pick up. And so I pick up the order from the pizza place, and then I click, I press my little up thumb and my thumbs up, and then I press swipe it to start, and then it says your next delivery pickup was within walking distance. So then I had what it wasn't a delivery from the two deliveries from the same restaurant. It was from another restaurant around the corner. So it was within walking distance. So I went down around the corner and picked up the second order from this other restaurant. And then I came back to the car and I started my deliveries. I really, really, really love this new feature because it gives you the opportunity now. It makes more sense to have the same driver. If I'm in a spot where there's 6 or 7 restaurants and they're getting two delivery requests from the same area, and I'm within walking distance of both restaurants, of course it makes sense to have the same driver pick those up. And it's like the same principle of having two deliveries from the same restaurant. So I'm really excited they finally released this in my market, and I didn't even know that this was something that they were rolling out. I don't really pay attention to other vlogs or blogs or anything like that, so I didn't know this was coming out. The only person I really followed in regards to Uber Eats is Leon, who has the app channel, because he really focuses specifically on Uber Eats. And then I used to follow some other guy, but he's more of like DoorDash, and it was a very brief period of time where I was following that guy's channel. So that was nice. So I got to do 2 deliveries from 2 different restaurants in that same time period. And then my next round of deliveries was the same kind of scenario. I picked up from the burger place up on my house, and then I got another delivery request. It said, it's within walking distance. And then it was from that pizza place that was just a couple of stores down as well. So, like we're talking like 150 feet. So, and then I completed that. So that was really nice to see that they're now, expanding and boosting that for drivers so that we can kind of, capitalize and monetize on more than one in, a set amount of time and kind of boost our hourly earnings. And I appreciate that. And one thing that I've noticed, and like, again, I don't pay attention to like forums or blogs or other videos, but I've noticed for months that I guess it must just be easier for McDonald's that I don't get double orders from McDonald's anymore. So I guess that's something they phased out. I guess when they started to make it so that the orders automatically fed into the McDonald's system, I guess they changed it so that you don't get double orders. Because, like, I mean, late at night, I rely on McDonald's to finish my night. And I noticed I would get a McDonald's order, I'd deliver it, and on my way to complete that delivery, I'd get another request. And by the time I swiped complete, it was another, like, I would go back and forth to the same restaurant 5 or 6 times, one order at a time. So I figured it's got to be something that the McDonald's employees, determined that it's not easy for them to have to sit there and fill 2 orders at once, because I mean, some of these McDonald's, especially the 24-hour ones, they are ridiculously busy. So in a way it's good because you're earning a delivery fee per delivery, and that could be good. But then again, they're just like one delivery, they do it to you to death. So it can be tedious and repetitive. So I guess this is good in a way because it kind of offsets that a little bit, in that respect. It's a nice change. It's something that I certainly am happy to see that they are, incorporating things that just make sense. And they're giving the drivers more opportunity for more money. I've also noticed in my market, in the Stamford, Connecticut market, there's been price surges around dinner time, up to $1.50, $2 per order, which is very nice. And then there's been more boosts going on. Like, I know last night there was a boost from like 12 to 2. Tonight, I'm sure there's going to be boosts. Tomorrow, I'm sure there's going to be boosts. And those have been nice to take advantage of and up my money as well. So those are the things that I noticed. That's the new thing that I noticed and experienced this week in my market in Stamford, Connecticut, that I really love. The other thing that I never really mentioned, because I don't post on this channel very much, although I want to change that, is I noticed over the last few months, they finally were approved. Like, New York finally must have gave Uber the okay to let the UberEats drivers pick up in New York. So now, and this is a big thing for me because I live very close to the New York border, and sometimes I am focusing the majority of my night on a bordering town. Like, I might focus on Greenwich, Connecticut for the night, and I know right over the border in Portchester, there's like 20 other restaurants that I could pick up from. And in the past, it would never give me those orders. The minute I drove into Connecticut, my app would turn off. It was, the way they had the app set is like, if you were a Connecticut driver, you were not allowed to drive into New York to pick up in any way, shape, or form. You could drop off if you were a regular UberX or one of those, but you could never pick up anything in New York. So I think they finally got through all of that legislation with New York, because New York was major SOBs about that. And so now this has opened up a lot more opportunity. It has expanded my delivery options, because now I can go into Westchester County, and I know Westchester County like the back of my hand. That's where I grew up, and it opens up my earning potential exponentially, because if I'm having a slow night in my area, then I know, okay, let me just go down, it might be slow in Stamford or Connecticut or Greenwich. Let me just dip over into Portchester and Westchester and see, because then I can end up taking an order from Portchester to White Plains, or Portchester to Harrison or Mamaroneck. And that's an easy, $9, $10 ride right there. And it's really been helping a lot. And it's just giving me a little bit more to do and get more familiar now, even though I know Portchester like the back of my hand, and most of these little towns, but Portchester I really know. But it gives me that opportunity as a delivery driver to get familiar with it. And so those are the major changes that I've seen in my market. And then now I also want to touch on Shipt. Now, if you are a Shipt driver, then you probably know a few months ago, CVS and Shipt have now partnered. Well, you could always pick up from CVS with Shipt if, as a regular Shipt order, you can go to CVS and shop for the customer. But now CVS and Shipt have a partnership where the customer can get prescriptions filled on CVS.com and get them delivered. So we don't identify ourselves as Shipt drivers when we deliver to the person. We just go to the store and pick up at the pharmacy. And that was a little bit of an ordeal, because what I've noticed, and I'm going to touch on this with Target too, is that these big major nationwide chains, like, they rolled this whole thing out, and Shipt is really good at making sure that their drivers know what they're doing and how to handle every situation. But it seems like CVS dropped the ball, and they didn't have management tell their workers, like their pharmacy people, how to handle these pickups. I mean, that was a whole fiasco the first time that I picked up a CVS pharmacy delivery. And then recently, this week, I actually had the opportunity. I picked up 2 Target.com orders, because Target and Shipt are doing the same thing, where people can now shop on the Target.com website. They're not using the Shipt app. They're using Target's website. And then the Shipt drivers are shopping that order for Target.com. So you do the shop the same way you would do it if the person ordered through Shipt, and then you don't have to pay. It's like all paid for. You just go and get that done. You're supposed to go to the self-checkout. So I get to self-checkout. I've got 2 Target.com orders. There's a kid standing there at the self-checkouts, and I'm like, can you help me? I just need you to scan my digital receipt. He didn't know what he was doing. And then he's like, well, Shipt customers, Shipt orders are supposed. I was like, listen, this is not a Shipt order. I was like, this is a Target. Like, he couldn't even get it through his head that it was a Target.com order. I was like, it's not a Shipt customer. It's a Target customer. You're supposed to know how to do this. So anyway, I had to go to the courtesy desk, and then the manager there, I mean, it took her 2 seconds. When they told her what needed to be done, she scanned my digital receipt. We just verified that everything was what was supposed to be on there, and we were good to go. And she's like, I have to show my people how to do that. Like, that was rolled out a couple weeks ago. They kind of should have. Like, she was so nice, and she got me out of there really quick. So I'm like not even mad at her, but like, that's something to look out for. If your store has not yet experienced these kind of shops, these are some of the things that you might run into. But at this point, like, they should have been on the ball. They should have anticipated that these orders were going to start rolling in, and that people were going to be shopping on their app, on their website, and wanting delivery. I mean, this is what they're trying to do. All these stores are trying to be competitive. Walmart's offering it now. And actually, one of the companies that I work for is actually providing deliveries for Walmart in New Jersey. And it's just a matter of time before it comes into Connecticut. I'm not going to Jersey, but what I'm saying is that company that I work for is offering that. So it's a matter of time, like, it's all been rolling out. And if these companies are competitive, which they're being, then they really need to make sure that their in-store people know what they're doing when one of us drivers comes in. So, it was a little bit frustrating, but we kind of got through it quickly. And then I was able to just, be on my way and deliver my orders. And then that was it. So these are the 2 things that I experienced in my, driver day in the life driver things, mishaps, things like that. I guess really they're both positive, because it's just more opportunities to earn money. And, positive change are always good, and as long as they take care of us, that's the best thing that they can do, is make sure that we're paid and compensated well, and that we're always given opportunity to earn more money. So if these 2 things have been helpful to you, that's fantastic. And I hope that, you give it a thumbs up if you liked my video today, and please go ahead and subscribe and share if you think that this would be useful for you or anybody else. And I will see you all real soon. Bye-bye.